Hello everyone and welcome back to Diksha Karnataka YouTube channel, and you are watching KCET 60 out of 60 in physics series, where I am discussing all the important chapters, not only important, all the chapters of your KCET 2025 syllabus, so that you can achieve your dream of getting 60 out of 60 in upcoming KCET 2025 exam. So we have already completed all the chapters of second PU. In fact, we have started our first PU journey as well, and we have completed motion in a plane concept review. Now we are going to discuss all the previous year questions from this chapter. Before going into there, you have to do one thing, that you are watching this video, then you have to obviously do one thing, that join our WhatsApp group, so that whenever we are doing an update, whenever we are releasing a video, something new is happening to our channel. For example, we did a PU series recently, so if you want to get all those information, you have to join our WhatsApp group, so that you don't miss out on any single information that is happening for your KCET exam or any PU board related exam, PU board related topics, concepts that we are going to do in our channel, so you don't miss out on that. So don't forget to follow our channel in WhatsApp as well. I know many of you are not following our channel, so I request you to follow our channel and subscribe to our channel as well. Now today we are going to discuss motion in a plane's previous year questions. So previous year questions, let's start with the first question. Particle in uniform circular motion related to one completed revolution of the particle, which among the statement is incorrect. Okay, I guess this is the problem that I did in our last question of the concept discussion. So if you have not attended the concept discussion, you should know that when the particle completed one revolution, okay, its displacement is 0. Now since displacement is 0, average velocity is 0, average acceleration is 0, but average speed, suppose I am measuring speed with u, average speed is not 0. Okay, so you should know that total displacement is 0, but total distance traveled is not 0. Distance traveled is the length of the path, okay, and displacement is the difference between starting point and ending point. That is the basic difference between displacement and total distance traveled. Okay, total distance traveled is the length of the path, whereas displacement is the distance between starting point and ending point. But in this case, starting point and ending point both are same. That is why the displacement is 0. That is why average velocity is 0. That is why average acceleration is 0. But average speed is not 0 because total distance traveled is not 0. So in this case, the incorrect statement, you have to be careful about the question. I always tell you, read the question. So the incorrect statement is average speed of the particle is 0. Average speed of the particle is not 0. So that is the incorrect statement. All the other three statements are correct statement. If you read it, you will realize it. Now let's move on to the next question. Two objects are projected at an angle theta degree and 90 minus theta degree to the horizontal with same speed. So what is the question? Two projectiles, one is projected at an angle theta degree, another is projected at an angle 90 minus theta degree. So 90 minus theta means you can say this angle is theta. Okay, this angle will be theta. If this angle is theta, then this angle will automatically be 90 minus theta. Okay, so these are the two angles of projection to the horizontal with the same speed, the ratio of their maximum vertical height. So what they have asked you to find the maximum vertical height. So what is the maximum vertical height for angle theta? Maximum vertical height, we know that is v square sine square theta by 2g, right? This is the formula. This is for the first case. Okay, this is for the first case when the angle of projection is theta. Now second case, H2, is here the angle of projection is 90 minus theta. Rest of the things are same. Now what is the value of sine 90 minus theta? Complementary angle law. You have learned this in your PU board in mathematics class. This is nothing but cos theta. Okay, sine 90 minus theta means it's cos theta. So square of that will be cos square theta. So here you can write this as v square cos square theta by 2g. Now they have asked you to find the ratio of these two heights. So let's find the ratio of these two heights. So what is the ratio? Ratio is h1 by h2. Okay, let's find like this. h1 by h2, if you do it, see v square by 2g is common in both cases, so they will cancel out. Only thing that will left is sin square theta here and cos square theta here. Okay, so it will be tan square theta. So what is the ratio? So ratio will be h1 is to h2 will be tan square theta is to 1. So correct answer is option C. Right? So you got for correct answer you got 1 marks. Okay. Now let's move on to the next question. The maximum range of gun on a horizontal plane is 16 kilometers. If g is 10 meter per second square, then the muzzle velocity of the shell is. So very interesting question. So nothing is given, no angle of projection is given, time is not given, in fact height is also not given. Then how can you solve this question? Is it an incomplete question? You might think, oh sir, this is an incomplete question, nothing is given, but it is given that maximum range. So when is the range maximum? Range is maximum when angle of projection is 45 degrees. Okay, so range is maximum when angle of projection is 45 degrees. Okay, so we know that range is given by v square sine 2 theta by g. Now when theta is 45 degrees, then sine 2 theta becomes 90 degree, so it is 1. So range maximum is always, you can write directly this as v square by g. Okay, range maximum is v square by g. Now here the range maximum is given as, range max is given as 16 kilometers. So don't put the values directly here. Okay, because 16 kilometers is given, so you have to convert it into meters. 16,000 meters. Now you can use it. Okay, 16,000 meters. If you use 16 directly here, then I know 90% of students will calculate it incorrectly because they will put the 16 directly. But you have to convert it into meters first. Okay, so v square we are trying to find, velocity g is 10. Okay, so v square is equals to 16, then 1, 2, 3 and one more 0, so 4 zeros. Okay, so v equals to 16 square root is 4, and for 2 zeros there will be 1 0. So 400 meter per second. Okay, I hope you know how to do the square root. Okay, when you are doing square root of 100, you get 10, right? So for 2 zeros, square root is 1 0. There are how many zeros? 4 zeros. So 2 pairs. For 2 pairs there will be 2 zeros. Okay, so correct answer is 400 meter per second. Small problem, easy problem. Now the trajectory of a projectile is semicircle, ellipse, parabola. Always parabola in the absence of air resistance, it's parabola always. Okay, does not matter if there is air resistance or not. Okay, if there is an air resistance, then there will be slightly different, but it will still be a parabola. Okay, now next question. For a projectile motion, the angle between velocity and acceleration is minimum and acute. So what is this question about? So projectile is projected like this, we know that, right? Now they have said that the projectile motion, the angle between the velocity and acceleration. So what is the direction of velocity? Velocity you have given it like that. So each point velocity is changing. Each point velocity is changing, velocity is tangential, we know that, and acceleration is in this direction. Okay, now if this till this point, okay, this is not acute. Okay, obtuse, this angle is obtuse. If you consider any point on this direction, then angle is obtuse because it is more than 90 degrees. But from here onwards the angle is acute, right? For any points on this side, okay, velocity is in this direction, acceleration is in this direction, so this angle is acute. So all the second half of the journey the angle is acute, but it is minimum when it reaches the last point just before touching the ground. At that point the angle between velocity and the acceleration will be minimum. Okay, all other points it will be slightly more. It started at 90 degree and slowly it will try to go towards 0, even though the angle will not be 0 here. Okay, but it will be minimum value. Okay, so only 1 point. Okay, so it will be acute and minimum only 1 point. Minimum is only 1 point. Okay, acute there will be multiple points. Okay, infinite points, because theoretically a line consists of infinite number of points, so infinite points, but minimum will be only at 1 point. That you have to be careful about. Okay, now let's move on to the next question. A particle starts from origin at t equals to 0 second with the velocity of 10 j meter per second and moves in the xy plane with the constant acceleration of 8 I cap plus 2 j cap meter per second square at an instant when the x coordinate of the particle is 16 meter, y coordinate of the particle is. So this is a mixed concept question. So first of all, let us understand what is happening. Velocity is given by, initial velocity is given by 10j. Okay, you don't need to understand the question in deep, but what you need to do, you have to apply the basic concepts of vector as well as a little bit understanding. Okay, and acceleration is given by 8 I cap plus 2 j cap. Now we know that from the experience of projectile motion, or also in the vector resolution of vector, when we are considering direction along x-axis, we only need to consider the I component. When we are considering the motion along j-axis, that is y-axis, we have to consider all the j components. Right? Now it is said that after an instant, the x coordinate of the particle is 16 meters. So x coordinate of the particle is given. So displacement along x-axis is given. So displacement along x-axis is sx, that is equals to 16 meters. Now what is the initial velocity along x-axis? Initial velocity along x-axis is 0, right? This is the initial velocity. So let me write it using more familiar term, u. U is our initial velocity, right? So initial velocity is 0 because there is no I component. No I component means you can write 0 I cap, right? So initial velocity along x component is 0. What is the initial acceleration or constant acceleration along x-axis? The acceleration component along x-axis is 8. Wait. So what we will do, we will apply the concept of equation of motion individually along individual axis. Okay. So for x-axis we can write the equation of motion sx equals to uxt plus half axt square. Time is common. Time is common for both the axes, but component of velocity and component of acceleration will be different. So what is ux? Ux is 0. So uxt is 0, half. What is ax? Ax is 8 times t square. Now what is sx? Sx is given, it is 16, sorry. Sx is 16. Now what you have to do, you have to just simplify. Okay, so t square equals to 16 divided by 4, that is 4, right? So t equals to 2 seconds. So we have calculated the time t, how much time it takes. Okay, now we will apply the same concept. Now we will apply the equation for y-axis as well. So y-axis, for y-axis the displacement along y-axis will be uyt plus half ayt square. Okay, so what is uy? Uy is given as 10j, j means uy. Okay, 10j. What is time? Time is 2 seconds, right? Plus half ayt square. What is ay? Ay is 2 times what is t square? T square is 2 square, so that is 4. So you can cancel them. So it will be 20 plus 4, that is 24. 24. Okay, so 24 meter is the answer. Okay, so I have calculated it correctly, so it will be 24 meters. So basically coordinate is nothing but displacement along that axis, right? If it starts from origin, after some time, okay, if it is moved, suppose x distance along x axis and y distance along y axis, then x comma y will be its coordinate. So basically the part they have mentioned coordinate, x coordinate, it's, don't worry, x coordinate is nothing but the displacement along x axis. So you have to displacement along y axis, x axis is given, and you have to calculate displacement along y axis. It is little complicated question, but not super complicated. You can solve it if you know how to solve it, right? So I hope this will help you. If similar question comes in your KCET exam, you can answer that. Now let's move on to the next question, question number 7. A wheel starting from rest gains an angular velocity of 10 radian per second after uniformly accelerated for 5 seconds. The total angle through which it has turned is. So they have given a wheel, okay. Suppose this is the wheel of time. Okay, so it started from rest, gains an angular velocity of 10 radian per second. So angular velocity 10 radian per second after 5 seconds. Okay, initially it was 0. This is final, omega final. Initial was 0. Initial angular velocity was 0. Final angular velocity is omega f. Okay, and the total angle through which it has turned. So you have to find the total angle through which it has turned. Suppose it started here, it reached here, the angle is theta, you have to find the angle theta. Very complicated problem, right? So I will teach you one trick so that you can solve any such problems like this. What you have to do, don't consider such cases where this is just related to angular motion, angular velocity, angular acceleration and time. You can simply treat such questions as linear velocities, linear acceleration and time. Okay, angular equations and linear equations are exactly equal. Okay, so what was the case for linear motion? In case of linear motion, final velocity is given by initial velocity plus acceleration times t. You know this equation, right? V is equal to u plus at. So instead of that, in case of angular motion, omega f equals to omega naught, that is omega I plus alpha t. The symbols are different. Okay, you don't need to remember the symbols if you know what is the value. Okay, so first of all we have to find the alpha. What is the alpha? Omega f is given as 10. So we are trying to find the angular acceleration. Okay, a, right? So omega is 10, alpha we don't know, time is given 5 seconds. So alpha is equal to 2 seconds, 2 unit, okay, radian per second square. Radian per second square, this is acceleration, so it will be 2 radian per second square. Okay, now how can we find the displacement? In this case, what equation we have used? To find the displacement, we use s equals to ut plus half at square, right? So what equation we will use in this case? To find this, in this case we will use theta equals to omega I t plus half alpha t square, right? Now omega I is 0, so only thing that is left is half alpha t square. What is alpha? Alpha we have calculated is 2. Okay, time is given as 5 seconds, so 5 square, these two cancel, so it will be 25 radians. Okay, so the correct answer is 25 radian. No pi is involved here. Okay, unless and until you are converting units, pi won't be involved. Okay, so 25 radian is the answer. Now the trajectory of a projectile projected from origin is given by y equals to x minus 2x square by 5. Okay, the initial velocity of the projectile is. This is a little long question, but formula we know that y is equal to tan theta x minus g by v square, v naught square I used during my class. I am simply using v square cos square theta x square. Okay, so this is the formula. There is a 2 here. Okay, there is a 2 here. This is the formula for projectile motion equation. I hope you remember that. 2v square cos square, no sign here, okay, g x square. Okay, whatever way you remember. Now let's compare this with this equation. Okay, first we will compare x. Okay, what is the coefficient of x here? Tan theta. What is the coefficient of x here? Nothing is there, means coefficient is 1. So from this, first of all, we can write tan theta equals to 1. So tan theta equals to 1 means what? Theta equals to 45 degrees. Okay, simply that. So we have put the value of this and we can calculate the theta. Now let's compare the other value. So g by 2v square cos square 45 degree. Now we are directly writing the value equals to, okay, x square. So x square component, x square component is 2 by 5. Okay, don't include the x here. X square, we are just comparing the coefficient, right? So only this much is sufficient. So now what is the value of v square we are trying to find? What is the value of cos 45? Cos 45 is 1 by root 2, right? So cos square 45 is 1 by root 2 whole square, that is half. Okay, so you see, you can write this as g is 10. Let me write the values here. 10 divided by 2v square times half. Okay, cos square 45, cos 45 is 1 by root 2. So cos square 45 will be 1 by half, 1 by 2. So this 2 will cancel and this will be 2 by 5. Okay, now you can cancel them. It will become 5. So v square equals to 5 times 5, or v equals to 5 meter per second. So v is 5 meter per second. Okay, you have to solve this. Don't guess the answer. Okay, if you are guessing this answer without solving, you will guess it wrong. Okay, maximum students will guess 2 by 5. Some student will guess 25. Okay, if you solve it, then only you will get the answer. Not so difficult. Only thing is difficult is to remember this equation. But if you have practiced this derivation in your PU1, then this equation is pretty easy to remember, and then you can answer this question. Now let's move on to the next question. If A equals 2i cap plus 3j cap and 8k cap is perpendicular to B equals to 4j cap minus 4i cap, very careful here, plus alpha k cap, then the value of alpha is. So here they have said that A vector is perpendicular to vector B. Now what is the condition of perpendicular? Two vectors will be perpendicular only if their dot product is 0. Now what we have to do? We have to find the dot product. How can we find the dot product? So to find the dot product, easiest way, write it directly. You don't need to write everything together. So first you have to multiply component of I with component of I. Okay, so here I is with 2, so 2 into minus 4, 2 into minus 4 is minus 8. Okay, next is the component of j with component of j. J is plus 3 here, and here it is 4. So 4 3s are 12 plus 12. Okay, next is component of k with component of k, plus 8 plus alpha. So it will be plus 8 alpha equals to 0. I, j, k all will be gone, right? So only the component multiplication will be remaining and I, j, k will be gone. So you can see that this will become minus 8 plus 12. So it will be 4 plus 8 alpha equals to 0, or 8 alpha equals to minus 4, or alpha equals to minus 1 by 2. So alpha is minus 1 by 2. Correct answer is option D in this case. I hope this helps you to solve such questions. This is very important question. If you are preparing for any other competitive exam, also for JEE or NEET specially, this type of questions is very common. Okay, they will complicate the language, but the concepts will be same. The angle between velocity and acceleration of a particle describing uniform circular motion. So what is the problem? They have given you uniform circular motion and they ask you to find the angle between velocity and acceleration. What is the angle? I told you while teaching the class that the angle is 90 degrees. You have to remember, right? Or you can draw like me and find it out. Question number 11. Three projectiles A, B and C are projected at an angle of 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees respectively. Okay. If RA, RB and RC are ranges of A, B and C respectively, then the velocity of the projection is same. Okay, then which of the following is correct? Now, first thing you have to remember is that the angle of projection for B is 45 degrees. So, angle of projection of B is 45 degrees. So, RB should be greater than RA and RC. Okay. So, if the angle of projection is 45 degree, the range will be maximum. So, range will be greater than in any other cases. Okay, and this is sufficient to answer particularly this question. Okay, so only in one case, that is RB is greater than both of them. Okay, and that case is option D. If you see RA equals to RC, that is possible, but only in this case both of them are less than RB. Only in this case both of them are less than RB, but in this case RC is greater than RB. That is not possible. Okay, in this case both of them are greater than RB. That is also not possible. Okay, in this case all of them are equal to RB. That is also not possible. RB has to have the maximum value. Okay, now apart from that, one more concept which is not super relevant, but you should know that if you add two angles, and you get 90 degree, okay, then for projecting first one with this angle and second one with this angle, then the range will be equal. Okay, if the angles of projections are complementary, then the range of two respective projectiles will be same. That is one more extra theorem that you can remember. Okay, that's it, nothing else. Okay, so RA equals to RC coming from the fact that 30 degree and 60 degree are complementary angles, so their range will be equal, and RB having the angle of projection 45 degree will have the maximum range. So together you can answer all this question, but even if you don't know that 30 degree and 60 degree gives you the same range, then also you can answer this question based on the fact that angle of projection will be maximum, range will be maximum when angle of projection is 45 degree. Okay, that information is sufficient, but in case they give you little bit more complicated options, then in that case you can use this extra knowledge as well. Now let's move on to the next question. The component of vector r along x-axis will have a maximum value if. So the component of vector, so there is a vector r, suppose there is a vector r, okay, and they said the component will be maximum along x-axis. So x component will be maximum when. So there are two ways, one is logical, another one is mathematical. Let me do the mathematical part. What is the component? R cos theta. So when it will be maximum, this will be maximum when cos theta is maximum. So when cos theta is maximum, cos theta maximum value of cos theta is 1. So theta should be equals to 0 degrees. So that means the vector should be along the positive x-axis. So r is along positive x-axis, that is the option. Logical is, so obviously this is an angle, as long as you are keeping it on the x-axis, it will be obviously the maximum length. So the x component will be maximum when it is itself in the x-axis, right? So if you are taking it a projection, then it will be obviously it will be less than that of the value, right? So it will be obviously along x-axis, then only you will get the maximum x component. Okay, similarly if they ask you what will be the maximum y component, so it is along the y-axis, positive y-axis. Okay, now next question, A particle is projected with a velocity so that its horizontal range is twice the greatest height attained. The horizontal range is. So this question I have solved during our class. So let me solve it quickly. What is the formula for horizontal range? Horizontal range is given by v square sine square theta by 2g, okay, and range is given by v square sine 2 theta by g. Now it is said that the horizontal range is twice the greatest height. So horizontal range is twice the greatest height. So this is given. So let's put these values. V square sine 2 theta by g equals to 2v square sine square theta by 2g. Okay, so 2 cancels, g cancels, v square cancels, so we get sine 2 theta equals to sine square theta. Okay, now what is sine 2 theta? Sine 2 theta is nothing but sine 2 sine theta cos theta, okay, equals to sine square theta. So sine theta square cancels, so we get that 2 cos theta equals to sine theta, or 2 equals to tan theta, or tan theta equals to 2. Now if tan theta equals to 2, that means we can write this as tan theta equals to 2 by 1. Now you need to know that from this formula how we can find sine or cos. Okay, so tan theta is equal to perpendicular by base. We know that, and also we know that sine theta is equals to perpendicular by hypotenuse. Now what is hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is nothing but p square plus b square, right? This we know. You can calculate cos theta similarly as well, but here our interest is to find the range. Now range is basically sine 2 theta, so we are interested in finding sine theta. Okay, so how can we do that? To do that we have to use that tan theta is 2 by 1, so sine theta will be equals to, so perpendicular by base, perpendicular will come first, and hypotenuse is 2 square plus 1 square. Okay, this is the advantage of using trigonometry, right? So 2 by root 5. Now sine theta we have calculated. Now do we need to calculate cos theta again to find sine 2 theta? No, particularly for this problem, no, because we know that sine 2 theta is nothing but sine square theta. This one we have already achieved while deriving this for this problem, right? So what is sine square theta? Sine square theta is 4 by 5, right? Sine square theta is 4 by 5. So this is actually equals to sine 2 theta. So sine 2 theta is 4 by 5. Because we have already achieved that sine 2 theta is equals to sine square theta. Now what we will do, we will put this value of sine 2 theta in this equation. So range is basically given by v square by g times sine 2 theta, that is 4 by 5. Okay, so 4v square by 5g. Okay, 1g, 2g, 3g, 4g, 5g. So this is the 5g generation. Okay, so 4v square by 5g is the answer. Okay, so if you solve this kind of questions, your brain will be more developed for your exam. Any competitive exam you can crack. If you are able to solve such questions without any help, then you are ready for any competitive exam. I can give that in writing. Now question number 14. The ratio of angular speed of second hand to the hour hand of a watch. Very interesting question. Now we know that in a clock, second hand takes 60 seconds to complete one complete revolution. So what is the angular speed of second hand? One revolution means 2 pi radian, and it takes 60 seconds to complete one revolution, right? So 2 pi by 60 radian per second, and this is the second hand. Now an hour hand on the other hand takes how much time to complete one revolution? Not the minute hand, okay, not the minute hand. Minute hand takes 60 minutes to complete one revolution. Hour hand takes 12 hours. You be careful, okay. Hour hand takes 12 hours to complete one full revolution, not 24 hours. Okay, so for hour hand it is 2 pi by 12 hours. 12 hours means 60 minutes times 60 seconds. Okay, now what you have to do, you have to find the ratio of these two. So WS by WH you have to find. So what is WS? WS is 2 pi by 60. Now WH is in division, so you can simply reverse it and write 12 times 60 times 60 divided by 2 pi. So 2 pi cancels, one of the 60s will cancel. 720, 12, 60, 720. Okay, so the ratio will be 720:1. 720:1 is the answer. Very careful, this is a very interesting question. Okay, students will be confused and they will think, okay, maybe 24 hours it requires, maybe some students will think 60 minutes it's required. 60 minutes is required for minute hand, not for hour hand. Hour hand takes 12 hours to complete one complete revolution. Okay, now next question. Which of the following is not a vector quantity? Very simple, easy question. Momentum, weight, potential energy, nuclear spin. Spin is a vector quantity because when something is spinning, okay, it will have a vector. So if something is spinning in this direction, then vector will be upward. So only potential energy is not a vector quantity, it is a scalar quantity. Okay, now last question. A stone is thrown vertically at a speed of 30 meters per second, making an angle 45 degrees with the horizontal. What is the maximum height reached by the stone? Take g is equal to 10 meters per second. Very simple question, direct question. Initial speed is given 30 meters per second. Okay, angle of projection is given 45 degrees and they have asked you the range. What is the maximum height? So height formula is v square sine square theta divided by 2g. So v square is 30 square, sine square theta is 1 by root 2 whole square, sine 45 is 1 by root 2, so sine square theta is 1 by root 2 whole square times 2 times 10. Okay, so 30 times 30 times 1 by 2 divided by 2 times 10. Okay, so one of the zeros cancels, this will be cancelled, you will get 15. So 3 15s are 45 times by 2, so it will be 22.5. Okay, 22.5 meters. So correct answer is 22.5. Right? Simple question, easy question, only formula, but don't make mistakes in the steps while you are solving this kind of questions. More numericals, more problems you solve without using calculators, more will be your efficiency. So I hope you enjoyed this session, and each and every video that we are doing in our channel is available in this playlist. And also don't forget to join our WhatsApp channel where we are doing all the announcements, all the new things that we are doing. You will get a new update that we are uploading one video on this. Okay, so all the updates will be available on our WhatsApp channel. Also KPL question papers will be available on our WhatsApp channel exclusively, and that is absolutely free. So don't forget to join our WhatsApp channel, and if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, share it with your friends and ask them to subscribe as well, because if you are following our channel, it will be very helpful for you to get a good mark in KCET 2025 exam. And I'll be back with a new chapter tomorrow. Till then, bye bye.